Mira sister Basimbi what is namati.
Gatina matei muzita renyu baba nerimwanakomana noromweya mutsvene. Tinokutendai Ishe wangu nenyasha nengoni dzamunotiitira zuva nezuva. Tichitenda nezvidzidzo zviri kufamba pano. Tenzi makarurama zvive nepundutso inozobudikira kunyange nekubasa renyu. Tenzi makarurama, tinoziva mune zvamatigadzirira masikati ano. Chivai nesu muve munotungamira kunyange vari kutidzidzisa, muvaitire zvakanaka. Tenzi makarurama, nesu tiri kudzidza, zarurai ndangariro dzedu. Tenzi tigone kugamuchira, tibatsirei. Tenzi makarurama, taisa zvose mukati memaoko enyu muzita ramambo Jesu, amen.
Hallelujah. We are all welcome to this afternoon session in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ. We want to thank God who has given us another opportunity to come and learn. Ndichakumbira vasikani vedu vasinganzwi English kuti vagare necherutivi rwangu nechokumashure vandarava vachavabatsira. Vadikani vese vasinganzwi English vanonzwa Portuguese vanogona kugara
ndichakumbira vakagara kumashure kwemapila kuti tigare patinokwanisa kuona. Mwari atiitire zvakanaka. I think space yedu yakawanda, tinongotsvaga pokuti tinokwanisa kuona project. We want to thank God who has given us another chance to come and learn. This afternoon's lesson is very, very important, especially to us young people. Our world is fast changing, and we must learn and know the tools which are being used today. Yesteryears, when people were using horses, they never knew that something which is faster like a cow will come. And to those who were like, I know, we won't learn about it. When they wanted to start learning about other things, they were left behind. So us
as young people, we want to learn as fast as possible things and the tools which are being used today. So I will not take much of your time. I'll give this time to Dr. Kwanganai. This afternoon will be sharing this lesson with us. God bless you.
Good afternoon. I hope everybody don't sit behind the pillar, please, because one, you won't see me, you can hear me, but more importantly, you won't be able to see what we. Well, the projection is. It's for those of you who heard yesterday that when you hear something, you write down so that you can remember. Unless if you are a sponge, that you just absorb and then you remember all that has been covered. Okay, so this afternoon we're going to cover how artificial intelligence is affecting us and how it's going to impact our future. And how also we can leverage on artificial intelligence across all sectors of life. Was it Monday? Dr. Marume was here Monday. That Monday, Dr. Marume How many of you know how many PhDs Dr. Marumi holds? Anybody knows? I have one, but Dr. Marumi is more than one. How many of you know how many PhDs he holds? No one knows. Yes, sir. He has 4 PhDs. 1, 2, 3, 4 PhDs. Probably some of us do not know what it takes to do a PhD. If you've done a master's dissertation or you've done a dissertation that's rigorous and you've done it by dissertation, you probably will have an inkling of what it takes. It's not easy. Because that's the pinnacle of academic achievement. It's not easy. Some of the can get brains in the process. So, what I'm trying to say is, he is an academic, but he's also a business person. So it means, and he's still considered a youth. He's not that old. I think he's in his 40s. Which means he found time to do 4 PhDs. And the minimum time it takes a PhD to do is 3 years if you are doing full time, and up to 6 years if you are doing part time. But he has done 4. And then you can sort of try and calculate how long that took him to do. But still, he found time to be a prolific entrepreneur. He doesn't talk a lot. I talked to him, we discussed, but he doesn't talk a lot. He's more of a doer. And he doesn't publish what he's doing, he just does it. And then if you do discover what he's doing, then well and good. So this afternoon, we are here to challenge you as young people. Okay? I am way older than Dr. Marumi. I'm going 61. Yeah, I am. I know you can doubt that. Many have doubted that. I'm going 61, but I still found and still find time to do very interesting things in life. And one of the things that I've devoted myself to is to work with young people, to train and teach young people of the future, equip them with the skills of the future. We are always pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So I like to look at what's that I can do tomorrow that's better than what I've done today. So even within our teaching and learning arena, we try and teach our students with approaches that give them an edge over and above their contemporaries. And artificial intelligence is one of them. And I'll tell you how I came across artificial intelligence. One of my ex-students at Weistek was visiting. And when he was visiting, he said, have you come across ChatGPT? And I said, what's that? And this was the very, very much onset of the artificial intelligence. And I said, I don't know what that is. So he gave me a link to look at. And what I had there, because I love technology. I live technology. And I was blown away. I just started to look at the possibility of what artificial intelligence could do. Pretty much the same feeling that I had in 1995 when Windows became the industry standard for desktop computing. I was in Malaysia at that time. And the laptops, the mainstream laptops were coming out. I still have got that laptop from 1995. It's quite a brick. It's a compact. And I was excited about what technology, the possibilities that technology was bringing to our lives, in particular in the realm of education. And so I am also excited about what artificial intelligence can actually bring. Now, before I move on into what we're going to be discussing, and I would like this to be as interactive as possible this afternoon, I will tell you what I know, but I don't profess to know everything. I've got limits, but I would like you to ask me questions. And so also, if you've got some ideas that you have, you also share with us. But as I said, I am here to challenge you young people in terms of how you can leverage on AI and how you can also not just be a consumer of what's being produced in the AI space, but also a participant in the building of artificial intelligence tools that other people can use. As Africa, I think we seem to have conditioned ourselves to the belief that we are here to consume knowledge and technology that's created elsewhere. Perhaps maybe it's not our fault really, because this has been a very deliberate construct by powerful players outside to make sure that Africa remains where we are. But the space has been opened up, and it's now our mindset that needs to shift to look at how we can also start to participate not only in consuming technology but also in producing the technology. So I want to start by firing a question that anyone who wants to tell us what they understand by when we say this buzzword AI, it's artificial intelligence. But what does that mean? It's not really moved by artificial intelligence. Do know what I told you? Brother, your mom will leave, but no one I told you artificial intelligence. What is it that we mean by artificial intelligence? Your understanding of what it is. Yes. Is there a microphone? Rebecca, do we have another service somewhere?
Okay, it's a machine that is used to imitate human intelligence to perform tasks.
Yes, a computer system that mimics human intelligence to achieve tasks. So a machine system, it could be a machine, but it could also be a machine system. When we say machine system, that means software that's running the machine to perform tasks. So it's got capabilities to think, to reason, to solve problems, and to make our lives easier. I always liken artificial intelligence to the process of digging trenches. You know, back in the days we used to, I think we still do that, isn't it? To dig trenches if we want to lay pipes, right? And then somebody comes along with a JCB digger, doing the same job, but doing it quicker and more efficiently. Think of it this way. Let's say at the grave site or graveyard, you have people that dig graves. And then you've got somebody who is operating a JCB digger. And this machine can do a job that's done by a dozen people in a fraction of the time they take to do the same job. And this is what artificial intelligence is to us. So what I'm going to do, I understand we've got students, primary, in secondary school, university, we've got workers across different age groups, and we have got self-employed, and we've got retirees, and we've got stay-home dads, stay-home moms, and stay-home grandpas, and everybody has got space in the AI space. Next one. So we've just defined what AI is. You know, machines that can think like human beings. So what's the next one? Yeah, we'll go to the next one. How can AI be helpful? So I'll give you an example of how I use AI in my industry as an educator. We're using these to plan lessons or lesson plans that are really, really, really smart. Rather than teachers having to sit down and think, how shall I teach this topic and the like, they use what we call prompts. Prompts is an instruction that you write into the AI to tell it what you want it to do. It's still the same old thing that you have probably learned about computers, that if you put in garbage, it will spew back garbage at you. But if you put in a really smart, valuable instruction, it then will also produce a really valuable output for you. And as I said, everybody has got, is covered in this space. Now, why is artificial intelligence very important? Let me say this so that some of you who are paying attention will pay attention. Artificial intelligence is not going to ask for your permission to replace you in the career pathway that you are looking for, if you are not aware. It's not going to ask for permission. It will simply do it. At Microsoft, as we speak at 2000, and Microsoft, software giants. So they discovered a new way of deploying AI agents to develop software. Rather than using human beings, they are using AI to do the same tasks that were being done by these people. Software developers, in order for them to write, let's say 100 lines of code. Ronald, how long do they take? How long 100 lines of code if they were writing software? How long would that take? A day. How about 1,000? A week or two. Right, so if to write 100 lines of software, it will take you a day, 24 hours to write. AI can do that in a fraction of a second. Why should we be employing you when I can employ this thing that doesn't get tired, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't complain, it keeps on asking if I want to go to the next level? Why should I employ you? So, instead of 2 weeks, it's going to take 2 minutes. It's done with a work that could be done in 2 weeks. So if you are not aware, I hear some of you saying you want to be software engineers. You need to know what you're talking about. Software engineers, good luck on you. So this is why we are talking about this. You need to know what career pathways are going to. If you don't use AI, AI is not going to take your job, but somebody using AI will take your job. Because they're going to be productive. So you need to learn how to use AI. How can I use AI to do ABCD? How can I use AI in my industry where if I'm a student, how can I use AI to get myself better grades? So invest time in learning, how can this work for me? If you are a farmer, how can I use AI for crop yielding? If you are a hairdresser, how can I use AI to innovate in the way that I do things? I was talking to Brother Nyamona this afternoon and said, do you see the way you are set now at the moment? This is an example of innovation. We simply looked at the configuration and said, right, that side there we can't project because there is too much light. So what can we do? Let's project this side. But if you are a person with a fixed mindset, you always say, no, we never sit like that. No, what have they done? Look at what they've done. Innovation doesn't mean creating new things. It simply means you've got things that are already existing. Reconfigure them to make them work in a different way. That's what innovation is all about. So for elders, Varpano, AI could be like a grandchild that will remember everything that you've been doing. Okay, so we are going to do some live demos of some of the things. Not long ago, I was on ZBC on their morning program talking about AI. It was short, about 5 minutes to talk about AI, which wasn't very long time to. But there was a question that the presenter asked me and said, "Well, how about my Taffy who is in Highfield? How can she leverage on AI?" And then we said, well, it depends on what my Taffy is doing just tell us what she's doing, and then we can tell you how she can actually leverage on AI. From selling tomatoes to making innovative cookies, AI can help you to do that. Yeah? From growing vegetables, it can give you innovative ways of how to grow vegetables so that you don't give an excuse and enough space. Right? AI, if I don't have space and I wanted to grow some vegetables, can you give me some ideas of how I can do this? It will give you examples of how you can do that. So it can help you to innovate in ways that have never been known before. And we are also trying to, I think slowly the AI is learning our indigenous languages so that Vanambuya, they can access it in a Shona. We shall demonstrate to you, because we are already participating in the space of developing AI applications. So we shall demonstrate to you one of the applications one of the products that we have, an AI that's developed by us here in Zim for education. Next slide, please. Next slide. So just to get you in perspective, AI how many of you use Siri on the iPhone? Siri? Let's raise your hands. Anashansa Siri on the iPhones. Oh, okay. Rebecca, you use Siri. Yeah. Right, Siri, it's maybe to demonstrate and let's just demonstrate. Just as an example. Hello, Siri. Can you call Mrs. Panganai, please? Phone. Well, I don't know why it's not coming up on the right. So Siri, if you say Siri, you just press a button and say, Siri, can you call so and so? Then it will ask, do you want me to call WhatsApp or do you want me to call on the phone? They say WhatsApp if you want me to call on the WhatsApp and then to call on the WhatsApp. It helps you if you're driving, for example, and then you can do that for you. And that is an example of an AI if you didn't know. But this type of AI, Siri, Alexa, also Alexa, which is by, I think that's Amazon, I think. Yeah, or Google Maps, right? Google Maps per se, they are not AI, but it's AI powered. There is a difference. So the app itself, it helps you to navigate your way. I think most of us are using that now. It's SatNav, isn't it? But it's now AI powered. So that means it can actually begin to make some decisions in terms of maybe rerouting your route and calculating the shortest possible distance and the like. So it's an example of an AI powered GPS system. The banking industry, most people are being replaced in the banking industry, particularly if you do what are called routine jobs. If you do repetitive stuff, that's going to be taken over by the AI. So what they simply do is they use what's called an AI agent, which is trained to do that particular job. And you are out of the equation. So again, we're going to be looking at how should you be thinking about these things, Kuti. What are the career pathways that you may have to think about? This space that we are living in, it's where we are unlearning certain things, learning new things, and then relearning. And that cycle is forever going to go on. You unlearn, you learn, you relearn. And if you don't do that, you will find yourself without a job. Recently, one bank, I think, retrenched about 400 people because they automated the processes that were being done in the bank because they are repetitive. Like updating of ledgers and all this stuff, that can be done by the system. And AI can do that. If you are in the accounting field, you need to start thinking about what aspects of what you do are going to be taken over by AI. Because it's going to take over. AI is also being used to control traffic lights. So that you've got sensors, agentic sensors that will sense the traffic density in a particular direction. So what it does is, once it senses that there is more traffic density, it will then increase the green light period so that more traffic can move through. And that's already happening. These things I'm telling you, these are not futuristic. These are things that are happening. Okay, in education, we are looking at a situation where AI, as an assistant tutor, can do all the teaching that teachers can do and does it better than teachers themselves. This is happening. I'm not telling you that will happen. This is happening right now. Now, the next stage that we are going to go into, especially at our place, we are looking at a situation where we will deploy AI teachers in the classroom, where the camera with facial recognition can recognize everybody at a glance, and it can call you by name. Because it capture your face, label the name, and then it knows that's Jane sitting there, that's John over there. And then the AI will start in, right guys, it's time for us to do geography now. And then to call out, please, John, sit properly and look front, is the AI. And it's going to teach the subject. But what the AI can do is to take the students on a field trip. It then recommends to the human teacher that the next thing is you need to take the students on a field trip to reinforce the learning of this. So what does that mean for the teacher? It means the teacher is going to find themselves more time. But what are these skills that then the teachers need to develop? This is now the question. If you are a teacher sitting there, you need to start thinking about that. Things move slowly, unfortunately, here in our part of the world. But it's going to catch up. We are going to automate the teaching of the class. AI can set homework. AI can mark the homework. AI can give feedback. And the human teacher simply needs to control what is happening. But then you yourself, and me, how can we use AI? That is the question, isn't it? All right, how many of you have got phones? Raise up your got a phone. Just raise your hand if you've got a phone there. My phone it on. Right, my phone and it. But phone paying, do you have something called Meta? What is that? What is that? It's written Meta what? Right, that's an artificial intelligence in your hands, isn't it? How are you using that Meta? How are you using it? Yes.
Personally, I've been using it to...
Just wait for the mic.
Right. Personally, I've been using it to find ideas. It's a time when we went to Wanke, and then we needed to find ideas on how we could entertain people for this group discussion, like this kind of thing, right? So before we start the whole session, we do some sort of thing to get everyone to get to know each other. And so I had to think of ideas, fun ones. I used AI for that. Then I sometimes use it as a dictionary. I'm a very inquisitive character, and I ask too many questions. So my parents and people can just be like, Koda, you've got AI, go to your phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I use it.
Yes, let's, if you can just...
I also use it. I'm in the fashion industry, and when I make, let's say, a dress, and I don't have a picture of the dress, I'll just take a simple picture and then post it there and ask AI to dress it on a beautiful model with the type of hair I want. If it's black or white lady, then it will just give me a picture, and then I'll choose which one I want, and I'll post it on my page.
Okay. Did you have an example that she gave?
Yes.
And you don't have access to what she has? Which AI do you use? Right, she uses ChatGPT. We're going to get the ChatGPT. I decided not to get technical in this session. I just want to be quite simple, because I could talk of narrow AIs. Right, a narrow AI is an AI that's designed to do a specific function. Like, for example, an AI that drives a driverless car, that's a narrow AI. It's got cameras which are its eyes to the outside world. It captures the images outside, and then to inform the way it's driving. So that's a narrow AI. SEAR is also a narrow AI because it performs one specific task. You can't be interacting with the SEAR for other things. So even up to things like ChatGPT, Cloud Sonnet, Gemini. ChatGPT is free. Gemini is free. Cloud Sonnet is also free. But all these, they've got paid versions, which have got more advanced usage. But for basic stuff that, like learning, if you are a student, you never say the teacher is not there and I cannot learn. So AI makes you independent. And as far as knowledge is concerned, if you've got AI asking, the only place where you've got leverage, If you know where a particular treasure is hidden, and that knowledge is not in the public domain, then you've got an advantage. But for everything else across the subjects that's in the public domain, you have no advantage. Because AI knows everything. Of course, they talk of what's called the hallucinations, where it can also give wrong answers. That does happen, but it can be fine-tuned to give you the accurate answers. So some people, they are using it for, like if you are reading, for how many of you are at university? Let me just see by show of hands. How many of you are at university? Oh, Aguna. Only one. Okay, how many of you left university? All right, okay. College. How many of you at college? High school? Raise your hands in high school. Okay. Raise again. There is a reason why I'm asking, you know, why right, high school, okay. All right. How many of you are working, formally working? Okay. All right, okay. That means I've got a sense that there are people that are in between jobs or in between things, as it were. So those people listen very, very carefully, because this can be your day, right? If you are in school, or if you are at college, you can get trained to use how to use AI to summarize information for you. If you are an administrator and you are given a document which is 52 pages long, and you don't have time like me to read 52 pages, what you do is you upload that document in the AI and say, AI, I've got this document, please can you summarize it in 2 pages, capturing all the key issues in this document. It will produce a summary for you in 2 seconds, and then you can read that summary. It will give you a gist of what this document is about. So you become more productive. If you are going to make a decision, you have got sufficient information to make that decision. Now, summarizing, it's one, I'm coming to you. Summarizing is one of the most difficult things, I think, even in school. And at higher levels of academic endeavor, is one of the hardest things, because you need to make sure that you are not leaving out important information, but also at the same time, you are not including unnecessary information. So they're able to act on it without having to read the whole thing. If you are in accounting, AI can proofread your accounting documents. AI can produce a balance sheet from your trial balance. AI can produce income and expenditure statement or a profit and loss account if you give it sufficient data. AI can also even produce, performance ratios across the board if you want that data. All you need to do is upload into and then give the correct instructions, and it will produce that stuff for you, rather than you sitting and saying, or even writing reports, or even if you're going to write a long report, you simply give it some idea of what you want it to do, and it will do that for you. At some point here, I said I will do a live demonstration of one of the AI tools that we have developed, which I think both parents and some of you who are at school will find very useful. One of the trainings that I provided to CFAs, Chartered Financial Analysts, that was in Bulawayo, I was showing them how they could use AI to analyze. And I don't know whether I was very popular in that one, because I was showing them how AI could replace them. But I was also showing them how they could use AI to make what they do easier. Some of them paid attention, but some of them, they kind of were not. But there are AI models that are being developed to deal with financial information and financial analysis and business, specifically designed for that. Next slide, please. Right. I've already spoken about the boosting of productivity in terms of, like I said, instead of you reading a 52-page document, what do? You read into the AI. The AI will summarize that for you, and you read, and then you get the information that you want to really get, and then you can act on it. And then supporting family, I think I'll also show you from the other AI, how you can support children's education through AI. Instead of allowing Ivana to use your phone on Meta to get answers from homework, you need to tell them that they shouldn't be asking for answers, but they should be asking for assistance. That, look, I've got this question, but please don't give me answers. I want to understand how to do this, and when I have done the work, I want you to give me feedback on how I've done. If they use it that way, it's going to develop them. But if they're going to use AI just to get answers, teacher going to work that's been done by AI and say, 10 out of 10, this kid is getting nothing. And unfortunately, this is what is happening in our higher institutions of education. At the UZ, I'm an adjunct lecturer there, or visiting lecturer in the Department of Education. I went there, and they were telling me, and these ladies, it's a department that's full of ladies. So they're saying, these students are performing so well. The quality of they are producing, it's amazing. And I said, do you know that they are cheating using AI? What is that? I said, yeah, they're using AI, and this is why they're writing you high quality. But that's not their work. So we tried to do a whole faculty training on AI. It was a tough task to do, but that was the time when you could access ChatGPT directly from here. I was already with my the module I was teaching to master's students. I was already using it. I wasn't marking the coursework. I was AI to mark. So I would give it prompts on what I wanted it to check, what I wanted to analyze, and the kind of feedback. And the kind of feedback that they were getting was amazing. So I was very productive. Because I didn't have to read, all the essays. I didn't have to. AI would do that for me. And this is also the same thing that is happening in schools. Teachers can now use AI to check students' work or to automate the assessment of the students' work. That means the kids can get fast feedback and comprehensive feedback that they can use to move to the next level. You can also use AI to get ideas, business ideas. I want to come back to Maita Fadzwa in Highfields that I mentioned. So you are saying Maita in Highfields, she's selling tomatoes. How can she use AI? AI can give Maita Fadzwa ideas. I hope there is no Maita Fadzwa. And you don't sell tomatoes. Rather than her having to sit tomatoes and somebody, like, the Zimbabwean thing. Somebody's, she's selling tomatoes, he's selling tomatoes, and everybody's selling the same product. And then the scramble for customers. Oh, come, look at mine, they are nice. Maybe they don't say that, but they're scrambling for the same. You sit down with AI and say, this is what I have. Can you give me some ideas of how? Then AI can start taking you through stages of the ideas that you can actually use to implement so that you can sell your tomatoes in a smarter way. Probably one of the examples that it can give you is, do you know any people who are involved in catering in your area? Then you remember, there is my Tindo by the corner, she cooks sadza. And she buys, let me go and find out where she buys the tomatoes from. Go talk to my Tindo and say, I can supply you with tomatoes. Where do you get your tomatoes from? How much do you get them? Okay, I'll give you a discount. I can sell. And then find maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of such people that do that. I'm just giving an example. So it can give you independence and ideas on how to innovate in certain things that you do. Up to this point, are there any questions before we move on? Students, don't worry, your time is coming. We're going to show you something that you really like. Students, any questions up to this point?
Okay, into ita zokuthengisa mascones.
My?
Mascones.
Mascones? Yeah, I love them. What flavor?
My cupcakes.
Ah, nice one.
So I think it's now my ideas kuti ndimathengisa kasire kufamba.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you the answer. AI will give you the answer. So let's demonstrate. My phone. Let's demonstrate and let's because we don't want to do theory. We want to do something that is practical. Let me see. Right, I have got. I hope the feedback is not going to. John. Hello, John.
Hey again, Felix.
Hello, John.
Hey, Felix. What's on your mind today?
Right, John, we've got a situation here.
Tell me about it.
Right. I've got a friend here. He makes scones. You know scones? Do you like scones, John? I know you don't eat scones. You're an AI.
Corn, huh? It's pretty versatile. You can grill it, boil it, even pop it. I'm curious, how does your friend prepare it?
Right. He sells scones, and he would like to get an idea of how he can make his business proliferate or grow.
Got it. So your friend sells scones and you're looking for ways to boost his business.
Of course.
He could consider. Got it. Your friend could spice up his business by introducing unique scone flavors, offering online orders for convenience, or hosting scone tasting events. What do you think about those ideas?
Amazing. You've got good ideas all the time, John. Yeah, I think he likes the idea. Particularly, I was actually going to advise that way, that, you could look at changing flavor. And also, of course, come back to you, John, and ask how you could probably make one of the best ginger lemon flavor on the scones. How do you suggest he goes about to get a recipe? What sort of recipe would you recommend?
A ginger lemon scone sounds delightful. Start with a basic scone recipe. Flour, sugar, butter, baking powder, and milk. Add finely grated ginger and lemon zest for that zing. You could even mix in some candied ginger for an extra kick. Don't forget a glaze made with lemon juice and powdered sugar on top. How does that sound?
Amazing. I think that's gonna be a cracker, John. Thank you so much, John. I'll come back to you when I need more help. Now, I'm giving you an example. This is the Copilot on my phone, and it's for free. It's Copilot app. You don't have to pay for anything for it. You just download it. And then you've got somebody that you are talking to, somebody that can give. If you are a student, you could be asking a math question, you could be asking a geography question, you could be asking anything, and you've got a tutor in your pocket. Rather than using these phones to peddle rubbish. The young people, they know what I'm talking about. You could be using your phone. And this is an example of how you use AI. This is an AI application on the Copilot. But in Susu, here in Zim, we are really working hard on developing accessibility to the AI. Kuti munokwanisa kutaura nani Shona. Tichakuradza imwe inotaura Shona, but asati ane voice. Inotaura Shona, in the Deva Nachkoro, you can learn with it in Shona, in English, in Zulu, or a mixture of both. Okay, so that's an example. No example. That's how we use AI. Kuti inokupa my ideas. How can you actually change your product? That's innovation. And then zvanandi zvaanga achitaura panapa, it's actually wrote everything down. The conversation is recorded. So you can go back and have a look at the recipe that it was giving. I can't see, oh yeah. It's written everything that was talking about here. So I can actually go back and say, right, can you then give me a recipe that I can actually use by quantities? And then it will give you suggestions with flour yakadai, maza yakada, so and then more a recipe. You go and then you go into your kitchen, which is your research and development laboratory. You go and cook my samples, taste them, share them around, and then also find out who are within your sphere of your business, or rather your space where you do your business, who are actually the people that are, but also online, taking your scones, which is up on Facebook, sharing, then this is what you do, and then your business, because the business will sell itself if the product is unique. That's one way of using. Then there is this issue, health monitoring. We don't have enough time to cover everything, but I'm just going to give you an example. Right, most of us, we go to doctor and did it. You go to doctor, they want bloods. And then when they've done these bloods, they say, you don't even know what to do. You look at those things because you never did biochemistry at school. You look at Maranges, endocrinology, you don't even know what they're talking about. You take that, and normally, or if it's me who is not well, and I go to the doctor does my bloods, I always ask for my results from the lab. We use Lancet. I'll say, can I have the results before the doctor gets the results? Or we get them at the same time. I take those results, I feed them into, when I say feed, I take a screenshot onto my phone. I upload onto my computer. I then go onto the, do you want to see how this is done? Do you think it's interesting? Let me explain, then maybe you get an interest. You want to know what my results are. So when you upload these results, give me an explanation in a language that a 10-year-old child can understand. It will then use non-technical language to explain to you that these results are showing that your sugar is above the threshold. The normal threshold is 3 to 8, but your sugar is 15. That means, and then you say, what does that mean? It then begins to explain what that could mean. So that when you go to a doctor to get a review and the doctor explains to you, you are actually on the same page with the doctor. And if it's somebody like I want to understand so that I can make a decision together with the doctor. Yeah. So that I don't get things being done, things that I don't really want done. Because I'll be asking questions, why should we be doing this? What is the alternative? Because one of the biggest things in medicine is misdiagnosis. 20% of medical cases, they result from misdiagnosis. But AI gives us power to make choices and power to be informed. Kuti tikwanise kuita ma choices. And that's how that can be used in and of course companionship chatbots, memory support. Chatbot memory support is whatever you do with the chatbot, it remembers what you were talking about. So you can always go back and check. What is it that I was doing? It records the history of what you have been talking about. So in a way, but okay, there is a problem with AI. One, I've told you, AI for children. Make sure I've just to get answers. Teach them, they need to understand that if they just get answers from the AI, they're going to fail. And they will fail badly. Because it's the AI that's making the effort. It's not them. You can also use AI. Can I kunyora a message by WhatsApp and you don't know how to proofread. You message, you copy that message, you paste it into the AI, and then you say, can you please improve this for me? it will correct the English, then you copy and paste back, and you also sound and then it also writes with good English. So you are helping yourself. You are also helping the other person that's on the receiving side. Papa medical papa and pandatauraka even mascans ayekuti munhu aitwa CT scan handiti. If you get the record of the CT scan, you can upload that image into the AI. It will also make an analysis. And currently we are looking at developing a local model for imaging diagnostics. Because normally after wind up CTR or MRI, then the radiologist will have to write a report. And if they've got a lot of those, they will tell you come back next week. But we are saying we can help to automate these things. Instead of having to wait for 2 weeks, we are saying you can get that within seconds. Because we develop the model, we couple it to the CT scan or to the MRI scan, and then as the scan is happening, it simply generates the diagnostic, the report. And then of course the radiologist will have to take that and then have a look at it to see if it's accurate. So why am I telling you this? And young people not find something to do in the AI space. Go online, free courses there. Learn how to use AI. If you are in the field of software development, pivot towards becoming an AI engineer instead of a software engineer, because AI writes software. Right? If you are to agriculture, find a way of using AI to improve my yields. Whether we say AI can actually help you to develop my business models of how you can check out your hukus, how you can market your hukus, right? Again, so far, is there anybody with a question? You wanted to ask a question, but I don't think you did. Can we have a mic, please? Here. Pana.
And I wanted to ask, you had said that you can use these, right, to summarize your information, right? Important information, you can use them to summarize that information, and then you can just read that instead of reading a full 52 pages, right? It's very good, especially I think in the law industry, right? Because you have to read a lot of things on cases. But then now my question is, let's say, in business, people can try to trick people, right? And use certain clauses just so that you can overlook it and then end up signing an agreement that can put you in a loss but then make your partner get a gain. You understand? So I'm saying, how can is AI accurate enough to be able to sniff that out?
Okay. Thanks for asking that question. Let's say you have a contractual agreement, isn't it? Now, AI, remember, is trained on a large corpus of data on legal stuff. So it knows law just as good as it knows medicine, but to some extent. Yeah? Depending on how you phrase your prompt. So you say, I am entering into this agreement, but ChatGPT, could you please read and analyze this agreement and see if it's a fair and balanced agreement where I may not suffer legal losses? It can do that for you.
Then my second question was, how do you make sure that you are you're giving it the correct instructions? Because I know there's a time when you think that the English you're using is proper, and you think you actually gave the correct instruction, but the answers you're getting, or when you present the information, right, you begin to get responses that are like, yo, what are you giving us? Like, what is that?
Right, it does so. I'll give you an example. I was working on, by the way, young people, just to encourage you to learn. Read, do courses. Right, I'm planning to read law with University of London. The reason I'm doing that is I've always wanted to, actually I wanted to be a lawyer. I mean, that's a route that I wanted to take when I was in school. I wanted to do law. But then an opportunity came for me to train as a science teacher, and I loved it, and I've never regretted it. But I'm just thinking that what is it that could be worthwhile reading? And I've always loved law. I've done commercial law. I've done company contract law. I love those ones. I just want to go back and read and find something, that's quite interesting. So I was creating notes for what I want to start with. And I was using AI to try and do that. But then it kept on promising things that then I discovered that it couldn't do, because it told me, right, do you want me to now compile this into something between 150 to 200 pages of PDF? But this is quite extensive. It's going to take a bit of time. But then you are going to have the whole compilation of the modules that you want to do. Then I just click and said yes. And then the next thing that I see is producing. So there are limitations in terms of what you can actually get out of the AI. But then it also depends on the model that you're using.
So the most efficient one will be those paid versions, if you're going to be
Well, if you even, the one that I have is a paid version. But again, that boiled down to prompts that I was using. What I was supposed to do was, I was supposed to look at one module and then ask it to develop extensively that module. Then once it's done with that, then I move on to the next. Rather than saying 4 modules, do everything and then compile. That's most likely, you're most likely to hit a dead end. Yes, brother Sindas?
Okay, I was saying, you can even tell AI, I want to ask such question. Mm-hmm. Can you help me to develop a question or to develop a prompt? It will help you.
Did you get what he said? You can ask that, this is what I want to ask, but can you it?
Thank you, Dr. Banganeng. I think there is, one of the fundamental courses in AI is prompt engineering. You are taught how to communicate with AI. You must learn how to ask it questions, because otherwise you won't get anything meaningful. So I think you should take your time, try to find out about prompt engineering, what it's all about, and then it will make your journey easier.
They are also improving, because remember, these are natural language, they've got natural language processing capabilities. They are getting smarter, really. You sometimes can just ask something and then it begins to ask you, do you want me to? Always, it's got a follow-up question. Always, it's got a follow-up question. So you can refine what you want to tell but firstly, know what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, there's no way you can ask it to do something for you that you really don't understand. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why you find in academics, if you're going to do research, you'll spend a lot of time refining your question. They say, what really do you want to research? Then this is too broad. This is not achievable in a lifetime. Narrow it down. So the quality of answer, quality of the question. There was a hand at the back. Yes, there is a hand here. And then Brother Nyamona, and then Sister Rebecca.
I wanted to ask, what is needed for a person to have a suitable prompt?
To have a suitable prompt. Know what you want. Know what you want the AI to do for you. That's a short and straightforward question, answer. Know what you want from, let's say you are doing homework, isn't it? Let's say, for example, you want to learn about photosynthesis. Yeah? You've done photosynthesis in school? Right, so here we go. Everybody has done photosynthesis here, isn't it? If you've been through the school system. Photosynthesis. So you go. You can't simply say, teach me about photosynthesis. No, that's too general. Number one, what grade are you or what form are you in? Define that. I am a Form 1 student, and I am learning about photosynthesis and the factors that affect photosynthesis. Please, can you help me learn this? Then it will create a content for you. Once it has done the content you've read through, now you want to revise. Then you go, thank you very much. Can you give me quiz so that I can practice what you've taught me? So you know exactly what you want. You have defined who you are. What? Otherwise, if you simply say photosynthesis, it will give you at university level. You won't understand what's happening.
That's the comment I almost wanted to give. I wanted to say the real deal with AI is prompting, because it's your interaction with the computer. So as you interact with the computer, you also have to learn. For example, you are saying you give it a context, then you can also give it something that is similar to what you want. For example, when I'm doing my notes to financial statements, sometimes I give it similar notes. I just say I want to generate notes similar to these ones, but I want you to improve. Then I can tell it how I want it to improve. But prompting is important because you are telling the computer how to interact with you. Now, I wanted to say AI is not really, to say you are a very lazy person, you are unlikely to get far with it. If you are lazy to think, you are lazy to work, sometimes you have to take maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I'll give one example. When someone who was doing MBA gave me a question, she said I was not in the lecture when they were teaching this subject. So I don't know where to start, but this is the question. So it was a 4-page question. Then I was then trying to help the person, but using AI. So I had to do maybe something like 4 or 5 hours to get the same answers or to get quality. It was giving wrong things, but I kept correcting until I got to the correct answer. But I wanted to say, if you are very lazy, you are even using AI, you are unlikely to get very good results.
It's true. It's true. Some of the, I'll comment what you, some of the attributes for AI, or rather some of the advantage that, we say it helps you with critical thinking. Only critical thinking, did you see the way I was talking to my AI? It was question and response. Yeah, question and response, question and response. Now, that kind of dialogue, for it to keep on going, you need also to be thinking and giving an input, not just waiting for it to spew out answers and give you. That's not going to help you.
That's one business fun up.
Right.
Pama opportunities tikaenda pa creativity ndaona kuti in our country ninyaya yekuti tichiri kure and vana vanoshandisa imagination in school, mabooks edu haasiri too visual, and vana kuti vapase they need visuals. So tikatangira ku ECDA, if you go back wherever you are, ukaona community yauri vana vachiri kuita ma-textbook learning, une smartphone, you can propose to the headmaster to create visuals for the children. If you can buy a tablet, you can invest in a big tablet. Wotanga kuti, let's say vana vakapiwa a question, maybe a maths. It's so hard to visualize it, but ukaisa pa AI ikakubuditsira cube ine ma dimensions ataurwa, and present it in the class or present it to the teacher. Kana iri geography, vamwe vana vasati vambona ma glaciers kuti akaita sei. Question ikuta kuti glacier ikamelta inoita sei. You put that in the visual learning iyoyo. It may be a lucrative business for vasati vambo wanama visuals in their areas. Considering kuti vana vanongotaka verenga textbook, they have to depend on their imagination kuziya certain things, geography, mathematics, or historical. Thank you.
Right. I want to extend that conversation that Sister Rebecca has started. As I said, I saw a number of people who are either in between things or doing nothing. In the era of AI, you can get business. If you did Form 4 or you did A-level, why don't you start a tutoring business where you are helping maybe primary school kids to read, to write, to do math? And how do you do that? Go to AI. Look, I want to teach kids that are struggling with reading. And I want to start this as a business so that I can help children in my local area. Kuti vagone kuverenga nokuita maths. Can you give me ideas? Yokupa my ideas. Right? Can you give me activities that I can actually be teaching these kids? That's when my ideas all comes in. Look, students can teach. Saka what you can do is unogona kutanga like urukungobatsira handiti, so that you hone your skills. Handiti. Ndruza kuti vana vavo ndipe vana ndizoticha ngavauye kuni ndivabatsire nehomework and then you teach them and then the parents can see that you are actually making, and then uzotara kuti anopa ndangocharge wakanazve $5 per, handiti. Now they know that you have got the skills, you can produce it. You run with it. Yes, Sean. Then maybe start with just wait. Let's start with the brother at the back, then he had his hand up.
Okay. As for me, I am more into researches. So I was writing this paper.
What type of research?
Master of Philosophy. So
academic research, okay, all right.
Okay, I was writing my research in fluid mechanics.
Right.
So the dependence is on artificial intelligence. I think it have made some impact on me, and it can affect other people. You become too much dependent on it, so your mind will start to, every question you have in order AI for interpretation. To the extent that now I can say, if any question comes, I have to ask AI first, then I'll put my own contribution on it. So the over-dependence on artificial intelligence, it's contribute negatively to the life yemunhu, because unotanga kuva zvese zvawafunga mupfungwa dzako you have doubts. You doubt yourself first, then if AI confirms it, then ndopaunotanga kuti it's correct. So for other things that I do, it ends up I have to stop doing it, kuti build myself first, so that my brain will grow rather than kuti brain zangu zive more dependent on AI.
So research. What's your name, my brother?
Tinash.
Tinash. Oh, Tinash. I'm an academic. I do research. I use AI. Firstly, be comfortable in your own turf, so that when you are interacting with AI, AI can also allow you to make a contribution even to an area that you are not very clear about. But make sure you understand what you want. Once you understand what you want, then you need to engage actively in. But let's say, for example, you wanted to do literature review. I mean, honestly, I don't have time to be reading. I'll use AI for literature review. But I have to read what it has written. I have to read and check. And this is where you come across the mistakes. So you need to be able to say, this is not. I mean, there are so many countless times when I'm also in the field of physics. There are so many countless times when I've said, this answer is wrong. Can you check again what you... The explanation could be right, but the interpretation could be wrong. So it's very, very important to avoid the ethical use of AI. Don't let it think for you. Think. And then collaborate. There is what we call SEAR. I've written a book that is just about on AI simplified, or AI literacy. SEAR is where the human element and the AI work together to produce a superior product. But then, that area is going to be very, if you think of Grok 4 heavy, which they are claiming at the moment is at the top of its game, it's performing above all PhDs in all domains of knowledge simultaneously. That's a big claim. Although many are doubting it, because that is really, but it's possible. Where the AI, if the AI is not performing better than us, but we created it, then what are we doing?
There is a term that said, if you say AI, if you want AI to create as many paper clips as it can make, it can destroy the world. So the use of AI must be controlled in every human being.
We call it responsible use of AI, or ethical use of AI. And ethical use, that's part of Zadati Torahs, copy from answers from AI. That's unethical. Because they are taking the work that one AI is does. And that's unethical.
And then on the positive side, the use of AI, you can do as many things as you can. Currently, I can write as many papers. I used to write this research for someone who is doing that's peace and governance. Yet for me, I'm into mathematics. So I spend most of my time in mathematics.
Are they paying you for that?
Yes, and it's paying me very well.
Yeah. Right, so again, those are not abunza kuti vari kuuniversity ndivanani. Sit down. Those are not abunza kuti vari kuuniversity ndivanani. Because kune rumwe rutivi rwema-students pa-university vanotya kuita ma-projects, especially computer science and these other hard sciences. Then there are these guys that are making a lot of money. I'll do your dissertation for you. I'll do it for you. And then they go and use AI and produce a beautiful thing. The person gets an ingredient, they get a distinction. But if they're going to be asked questions so that they can answer questions. But there are people that are making money using AI. He has said it, Mukoma Tinashe is making money. He's doing with AI, you can actually pretend to be something that you are not. If you're not going to make money with the AI, right, Mukoma Sean, the question.
It was rather a contribution. Thank you once again. Looking at AI, we saw that you were talking to the AI. I was trying to differentiate it from that scripture which reads, "Worship not the beast nor the image." As humans, we have intelligence, and it's got bounds of conscience and Ubuntu. We may introduce that word. But looking at AI, it's just something programmed. So how do we strike a balance between using it or actually going to the extent of worshiping it?
Over-dependence on AI, like Tinashe said, if we over-depend on AI, then there can be a problem. Idolize to the extent that we feel we can't do without it, and that's not a good thing to be. That's not a good thing to have. It's really not. And that addiction is very, very possible. Let's say if I'm writing a report, isn't it? Right, that report I'm writing of something that has happened, but I frame it in such a way that instead of spending 3 hours on it, reports they take time to write. I mean, for some of you who write reports, I mean, it's not something I really like doing, kunyora report. But if I have to write the report, I make my input in, but then to polish it up so that I am more productive, I put into the AI for polishing, and then to extend it. And then it can also, now the AI also, it learns the way you communicate. My AI knows the kind of language I use. And sometimes I tell it not to change what I've written. I said, keeping the original content and context, just improve the English. Don't change anything. Because that's the way I want it to be. And then over time, it begins to learn the way that you want to express your stuff and the like. So what does it become? It becomes my assistant. It comes after me. The AI does not go before me. So this is what we are saying. AI inokubatsirai kuita zvinhu. AI inokubatsirai with administrative, but you simply need to have time yokuti in your various areas, get some training, read about it, research about it, how best you can use it, so that you unogona kubudirira in your every day-to-day tasks. Yes, Brother Nyamon.
Answering Sean, I wanted to say, think of AI as a very smart assistant. So probably right now you don't have a PA or an assistant hauna secretary wako, hauna umwe munhu anokudrive anokubatsira, because maybe you can't afford. But just to think of it, of AI as an assistant, possibly another $20 every month, anenge achifamba newe achikubatsira paunenge uchida ma-ideas. You still remain yourself, and you still have an assistant who is helping you. But in this case, it's just a software. It's not a physical person. Or think of AI as a toolbox. Like, say you are a mechanic or whatever you are doing, you have got your own set of tools, but then think of AI as another tool in addition to the ones that you have. You are not, the moment you think of a toolbox that you use, you are not thinking of a God, you are just thinking of a toolbox. So to me, that's the kind of thing that I have.
Right, as I said, session it's for awareness. There are no skills. I mean, we don't have time to skill you up with particular areas. It's just to tell you what's possible, and then you can begin to choose, the areas. If you then need particular training on particular areas, that becomes a different platform altogether. But like what Brother Nyamona is saying, Kanatiruma businesses, look at what you are doing and think of what can be automated. Right? We have developed a product within the school system. A school can manage the administrative process using what we call AI agents. So you pay fees, and the fees is captured by class. Just by on an overview, they can actually see that. And that's a school management system. They can actually see that. And then we also centralize registration. Whenever we have choices. We can automate the registration by facial recognition. When the child is entering the school premises, the camera captures their face, they mark the register. They don't have to do anything. And so automatically, by the time the school starts, we know who is in and who is not in. That's automated, rather than having somebody taking the register physically. And also subject attendance, we can also have cameras in all classrooms. Each student getting in, or all the students when they are set, the camera just captures all the faces, it marks the register. That's part of automation. You can also automate your email replies. I mean, those things, there are also solutions that can be provided. Where the AI agent
especially in terms of privacy and security, especially to do with sensitive information, documents. Now you were talking about asking a AI agent to do some purchases for you. How safe is that?
Right, they always say you need to be discreet in terms of what you allow it to do. Some they are comfortable, like in developed countries, they are comfortable to give it all the, depending on the security system that you have within your. I think that's. Help me, guys. I've got my gigs here. How do you protect that, Ingrid?
Oh, okay, hello. So, if you read Papa, every chatbot, Pazasi, something about sensitive data.
Just speak in English there, our brother who
Okay,
don't
so
understand.
on every chatbot, there's below the chat input box, there's always a disclaimer written that do not put sensitive data, because there are some cases in the United States of America whereby someone is a criminal and they upload some very sensitive data to ChatGPT, and that data was used in court. Because these companies, they have your data. If you use AI for the wrong purposes, if you use AI with your sensitive data, they will have that data and can use that data for police concerns. But with data that is very sensitive, do not just upload to some generic chatbots. But there are some solutions, just like the solution that we provide, whereby you have an AI that is for your own organization. That AI cannot send data to the internet or or anywhere. It's just for your company. So if you are a company, don't upload some sensitive data to ChatGPT, because that data is going to be used against you. That's where you need to have some AI agents created for you that cannot send sensitive data to the internet.
So the long and short of it is, don't upload sensitive data to generic AI chatbots. But if it's custom made, if it's the one that's custom made for you, it has no capabilities of leaking the data to the public or to third parties. So we need to be careful if you're using ChatGPT, how much stuff can we put in there? Because also Grok, it sends most of the data to the US government. By default, it will send data. And like he's saying, you know, if there is data that is sensitive, I mean, it can be used against you. And so you are trying to apply for a passport, I mean for a visa to go to the US, and there is some information that was quite a bit quirky, that can be used against you. Because they have got information sharing for security purposes. So let's be careful in terms of what we upload onto that system. Yes?
You talked about the generic AI and the personal customized one. Can you please just tell us the differences there?
Okay. Can you connect Chikoro AI to, just to give you an example of something? I mean, we just need that plugin. Right, what we are showing you now here is a custom-made AI, but which collects data, right? Student data. And right, so this is developed by us. It's called Chikoro AI. And it's specifically designed to help students learn. It behaves differently from an ChatGPT, but generates data. It can process data, but it is specific to, so it's child specific. If a child logs in as a grade 1 child, it will tailor-make itself to communicate with that child as a grade 1 kid. If they log in as a grade 6 kid, it will also elevate to the level and so forth up to A level. And this is good for ZIMSEC and also for Cambridge. So this here, because when they register, they put all their information in there. This chatbot cannot leak that data elsewhere because that's within our server. It's within our cloud.
So it becomes illegal if maybe security agents into that system.
Okay, so for the data, the databases, they are encrypted. They're encrypted using some, we have put in place privacy concerns, and we have also noted of the laws that pertain to use of data, because when the data, let's say for example, it's Sister Rebecca's data, I do not have access to that information. The AI only has access to that data for a specific moment. Let's say a child is doing a particular subject. Yes, the AI must have that context, but after they are done with that lesson, the AI will not have that access to that data. Yeah, so there's no privacy concerns because one, the data, it will be encrypted. Encryption means we have locked the data. No one can open the data without the keys. So the privacy concerns for hacking and everything, I don't worry.
Yeah, but I think the question was, if somebody cracks into that, that's a criminal offense, if they did that. Yeah, it becomes a criminal offense. Okay, so this one here, scholars, I mean all those that are in school, all those that have got kids but going out Chikoro, this AI in a default language is Shona. Saka unogona kutaura naye neShona, and then it will answer you in both English and Shona or Zulu, as the case may be. And it knows all the subjects from grade 1 to form 6, ZIMSEC and Cambridge. Do you want to demonstrate how that is? Okay, abvunza mvudza kuti chii chinonzi forms of production. So the thing with this is you can communicate in Shona and English as you wish. And then it will. I know in our space, tine problem yekuti we think kuti ko kana vana vedu vachienda kuchikoro kuti vanzi vakadzidza vanotadza kutaura shona. There is no one country in the world that developed using a second language. Aiko. The Chinese, they instruct in Chinese, the French in French, the English in English, the Japanese in Japanese. So if Africa is going to develop, we need to be able to create platforms where we communicate math and science in our native languages. And AI is going to help that happen. Because AI can break those barriers and allow the students. Kuti kana mwana ari kutaura mwana ngaakwanise kuita seamlessly change between English and Tswana or English and Shona or English and Zulu seamlessly. Because it doesn't detract from the, it doesn't make them perform less because vari kugona Shona. I taught my Koreans, my Malays, these people, they could seamlessly switch from English to their native language. Very easy. Pakistan speaks Urdu. Yeah, power. India, they speak Hindu, and the other, they are also a nuclear power. So I'm not saying let's become a nuclear power. I'm simply saying if we are going to develop as a country, it's going to because our network is very, very weak. That's why it's taking forever to. So these two, the kids can and then it will explain in a very nice language that is tailored. It's actually a teacher. It's a virtual teacher, and it teaches better than ChatGPT. But it's a light model. We call this a light model. It's not as big than ChatGPT, but it's a light model which is custom made and it's really good at what it does. Ramson does
for translations. Let's say I make a video which is in English and I want the translation to be in another language in a written.
Right, there are language AIs online. I really can't recommend a specific one, but there are language AI tools online. I really can't give, you have to search for AI language translators. They are there, and they're really good. But I also would know because they've got subscriptions. And sometimes, I mean, you might just want to subscribe for a month, and then do what you have to do, and then, because if you are not using it all the time, it's good to do a monthly subscription, and then you use it for what you want to use it for, and then move. It's just as good as, I think, 11 labs, where you can create a voiceover for a video. So you write a script, you put it into the AI, it will read and then produce a voiceover that you can then use it for, that's what you want to do, isn't it? Yeah, so you need to, check 11 labs, it's called 11 labs, and see if it's got different language. I think it does.
I think also for us as the youth in the Apostolic Faith Church, we can start using AI to improve our Sunday school and our Bible study. Yes. Because so many times I will always go back to how much we have to use our imagination. Imagine maybe the Ark of the Covenant. If you could put the prompts in AI and it develops exactly how it probably looked, and you share with the class, even if you're not the teacher yourself, you can share it with the teacher, and it can help people really visualize what the Ark of the Covenant looked like, and it will also improve participation. So as the years are progressing and others are growing older, you become Sunday school teachers, you become Bible study teachers, you become pastors. It will also be good to start learning AI to improve our own church materials. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. For the rest of us, kushandisa watawanisa kuita AI, let's use it for Bible study, it's really good. I use it for Bible study. It's amazing. If I'm reading the Bible and I get to some point, for example, there is sin which is unto death, and then there is that sin that is not unto death. And then you're wondering, what does it? Kune chivi chiri cherufu kozeta chivi chisiri cherufu. And then you're thinking, what is that? You can go into AI and say, quote the verse. This verse, can you explain to me what it means? I use ChatGPT in particular for that. It will explain to you. It doesn't make up things because it takes from already the data that is there, because there are people that have been moved by the Spirit of God who are Bible scholars, who have already written stuff and books that you have not read. So it has access to all that. Then it will coin up a response for you. And then it will also give you a theological perspective. I mean, if you want to go deep. So it's really good for, I don't know about Meta, I can't speak for Meta AI, so don't quote me on Meta AI because I don't use Meta AI for that, I use ChatGPT. Another thing that you are too much AI please to guys to do, if you have nothing to do and you have got access to the computer, you see this image here. This is an AI generated image. It's a silhouette with, it's a fountain with, unfortunately I'm sponsored because of light. But this is AI generated. But it depends now on what kind of prompt do you, and you can get this printed and you begin to sell. You can begin to sell that as art for wall hangings. But the prompt then depends on the prompt. So I simply said, right, can you create a fountain with a sunset background? So become creative in terms of how you use the prompts. And the better you become to use my prompts, then you can begin to create. And this one, you don't even need to have any skill to be able to just be creative. You can also use even the AI itself to help you with creative prompts to create more artistic images. And then you can begin to market them on online. But you have to make a disclaimer and say it's AI generated, but I generated it using AI. Those are your ideas, because the AI doesn't generate that unless you've told it what to do. So you can begin to use, different creative. And there are a lot of people making a lot of, go check, a lot of people making a lot of money using AI. Young people, have you heard? All right. I don't know if we had any success with the. Otherwise, I want to conclude around this area. Any questions, please? Anyone with a question? Right, there's a question at the back. Please ask questions if you have got any questions of how you think you may use AI and how you can. As I've said, this is an awareness session for you to know there is AI and to think about how best you can use it. Going forward, yes?
Actually, Yango, it's a contribution. But Shatana sister Rebecca, that we can use AI for generating information for Bible study. I want to say, I'm a primary pulse teacher, kwedu kugokwe. So sometimes my lessons, I know you're like my eye opener. I know you're an eye opener in Opiwa. So I've used it 3 times, trying to get information, to get an eye opener that is relevant to the group that I'm teaching. Because even my activities, they cannot do it because and stuff. So it has helped me to teach primary pulse most of the times. In a way, and the lesson goes perfect.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Anyone? Yes, there is another either contribution or question over there.
Well, an AI agent or assistant, we're using that analog, it can be an assistant, right? Will it reward you for any satirical language? As in, we know gadgets are not supposed to have emotions, but it can analyze that this is from a critic's perspective. So will it reward you for that negatively?
Not really. From like this one here, because this has been configured to use positive language. It doesn't use negative language. Even if the child gets the answer wrong, it's very encouraging. And I've seen certain responses like, "Oh wow, that's a really interesting perspective." However, then gives what you should have said. Yeah. It says beautiful things, this one. I love the way it encourages, the students to move along. And even the other, the ChatGPT, and they are not configured to use negative language. I haven't seen it. Unless you have come across something that rewards you negatively and like, "Oh, come on, how can you get this wrong?" I mean, we do that as human beings, isn't it? How can you get this wrong? I mean, this is so simple. No, it doesn't do that. Right, coming back to, this is the question that, you see here it says moral, production or kugadzirwa zvinhu is really important concept in business studies. In simple terms, it's a process of combining different resources to create goods or services that people want or need. And then the way it proceeds, it just doesn't give information. Think about it this way. If you are making sadza, right, this is how our AI is different from all other AIs out there. In a context here, Zimbabwe, it's contextualized. So it will talk about Mbare Msika if it's talking about agriculture. It will talk about ZESA if it's talking about energy, to give you the context, even if you are learning. I have an assistant. Okay, all right. So why are we showing you this? Participate in the AI space. Don't be afraid of using it. Don't be afraid of using it to develop my products. But in AI. That's so powerful. Yeah, and we have showcased this to the Ministry of Education. They are just blown away with it because there is nothing like it. But he is still in school. Some of you already finished the school, but you haven't produced anything. Is it?
Oh, Metaverse. Say, wangu mubvunzo based on my cameras, amataura. Indinoita zvekuinstalla ma cameras, ma surveillance cameras aya.
Smart cameras here?
Yeah, smart.
But they can be integrated with the AI.
Yeah, but ndachida kuti mundibatsire kuti how best can I approach my schools asati ava nekukwanisa kuuploada database yekuti ndokwanisa kusvika ndichiva-approach kuti ndokuisirai macameras anokusevhirai kuti musava makama-registers like the example yamandiva. Saka mukandibatsirawo ipapo semutsva ndokwanisa kunoitawo mari.
See us later, then we can talk about that. That's my response. See us later, we talk about that. So now how best we can help you with that one. That's a good idea. Anyone else? Sister Rebecca, questions. Right, anyone who has got something to share on how this session has helped them to see potential in terms of how they can use AI? Anyone? Yes. Where are they? Okay, in Bova, the young people there.
I wanted to ask that if, like, at school you have a teacher, but not an AI teacher, like she tells you something, and then when you ask your AI, it tells you something different, and you are in a test, what should you do?
Clap hands for her. How old are you? How old are you?
8.
Stand up so that they can see you. Because I want to shame them. Just turn around. That's an 8-year-old kid asking that means she was paying attention. Imi murusha mibvunzo. Mama katokotsira zvenda nchikona mchirara hope. Mozo chema nhamu. Iwo chijara nhamu. Unongokuhauka nhamu. Urara. Right. The question yabvunzwa nemwana, and the question that she's asking, it really happens with these systems because there is something called hallucination. When they hallucinate, it means they give wrong responses. And so it's important to check with the teacher. Hands on, Shona. Shona. Right, Shona, you ask the teacher. And usually, the teacher generally will be right. Okay? Generally, the teacher will be right. Because the AI can tell lies sometimes. Okay? It can tell wrong answers. And this is important for all of us to understand that. Particularly, let's say you are doing Cambridge or ZIMSEC MCQ. Yeah? And let's say the question is maths or it's physics. Because they not struggle and reasoning questions and diagrams. So you find the mark scheme has got a different answer to the AI. Trust the mark scheme in the first instance as a rule of thumb. Because those are already moderated. Because, they can't be using a wrong MCQ to assess everybody. Although it does happen, but the chances of that happening, they are really quite minimal. And also remember, like Cambridge, when they mark, the question paper is moderated. It's marked by one person, it gets moderated by another person. And when they give the marks, you actually see the first mark you got 29. When it got moderated, you got 26. Or you probably may get 32. So there is that process of moderation, and therefore the answers that they suggest in the mark scheme, they are vetted. And so generally we trust those who take Panopoma responses. The chatbot can hallucinate. Yes. Then, okay. Or maybe, sorry, let's start because you end up under.
Yes. Question, and also I wanted to contribute. You said that you want us to tell you how this whole discussion has helped, right? So should I start with the question or how you've helped?
I said from what we have discussed,
in general.
What's your takeaway as an individual? What do you think you're going to do differently, knowing what you know now?
Okay, let me start with the question, right? You said that it's very possible for, like in school, for you to know that the AI is giving you wrong answers, right? So my question is, how about professionally? How are you going to tell that it's giving you wrong information professionally?
What do you mean professionally?
As in, like, for example, the example I gave you of law, right? Yeah. You ask it to, maybe you need to do research.
Are you studying law? I sense you're studying law.
No, I just enjoy the subject.
You love law, okay,
yeah, I
right.
like it. It's very interesting for me. So I'm saying, let's say you need to do research, you don't have a teacher, or the teacher is that kind of person who's saying, and I'm no researcher, I'm
right.
Then you do your research, it gives you wrong answers. Now, how are you going to verify whether or not the research you've done with AI is wrong or correct?
I suppose you read, isn't it? When you're doing research, you read, don't you?
Yes.
You read. So you need to be grounded in your facts. You need to know the facts.
And what if you don't know the facts? Because the reason why you're researching in the first place is to know. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Give me an example.
I guess that like this school one, and it's whereby you do not have access to verified information from the teacher.
Yeah.
Right? What do you do?
My suggestion, you use different chatbots platforms. Okay. Like, for example, when if I'm training AI, for example, when I give demos, you'll find that, I think my guys, we've done that before. We have seen a question, very basic O-level question, where Chikoro AI gets it right. First time. Then you go second time, it gets the wrong answer. I know the answer. I know the answer because I've worked. I know the answer it's supposed to give. It's a straightforward answer, but it gives the wrong answer. What do? We go to the next chatbot. So we tried this with one physics question, and all the chatbots, including ChatGPT for Omni, got it wrong. And then Copilot gets it right. And Copilot explains it so clearly and was so adamant that that was the right answer. And I was really, really impressed by that. So you need to use different models to verify the answer. Yes, sir. And then, of course, including the human element. Where you are not sure, talk to the human element or talk to the...
I wanted to give how this session helps.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say that I generally had the overview that in a such AI, right, would take jobs from people, right, and would really encourage that whole aspect of a person being lazy. You understand? So I'm just saying this session really helped me to understand that. Okay, fine. You know what? You should stop seeing AI as maybe your carrier, you know, like that's something that's going to carry you from
Yeah.
this to that, but more of see it as something that is your assistant, like what they were saying. You use it, right, to assist you in whatever you're doing. So in other words, it's more like you're in control of what you're doing. You know what you're doing, right? Then you just try to use it to fill in those gaps that you know you have as an individual. So that's what I personally have taken away from this session. So thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
this one.
Actually, people are going to get smarter using AI. There are people that are going to get super smart. Those that are using the AI in the right way. They are going to get really, really, really smart. I'll give you an example at the end.
Well, I tried to do one case scenario of a situation that I had in a certain community, and it's a case that is going on. I just went on ChatGPT, presented the issue, the scenario as is, and to tell you the list, the response that I got from ChatGPT has proven to be correct, in the sense that the one who is taking up the case in a Zimbabwe context at the court of law has reserved the issue, which is very correct. And I assume it will come out, the judgment will come out exactly what I got.
From ChatGPT.
Yes.
Yeah, as I said, that in terms of knowledge, these things have got a big knowledge base. And usually, at this point in time now, it's really, I mean, I think the margin of them giving factually wrong information is getting smaller. Back in the days, yes, it was quite big. But they've refined because of the corpus of the data they've trained the models on. But my calculations for science, to be very, very careful when it comes to science. It's really, really, really tricky sometimes. And they can get things factually wrong if you're not careful. Right, to respond to that question, I mean, the way I could respond to that question is, I hope they're listening. Please, can you take that same question there and put it into the AI? Put that question, put it in the AI and get the response. The response you get, that is the prompt that you are going to use. Did anybody understand what I said? That question needs to be taken, then be put in the AI so that the AI can generate a prompt. And when they get that prompt, then they put that prompt back into the AI. That's actually, that's what Brother Msindazi said. And you say that. You can use the AI to help you to generate a prompt. So you say, I am structuring my question to respond to grants application in preparation of interview. Please, can you help me develop a prompt that's suitable for that? Then it will give you the response. There's a question? Yes? There are free online courses. Coursera, there is an online known Coursera. I think it's Coursera. Coursera. Mwenda, go there, check Hutiko, what you have been doing. Is there a course online for that? Sometimes they might need you to pay a fee to get certification. So you go there, go through the course. When you finish the course, then you can get a certification from there. Yeah. Because your AI, it won't be able to give you a certificate. Is that?
I think the Zimbabwean government, there's a department in also
Matrix.
Matrix. So if you feel good what you have learned using AI,
Go for testing.
if you feel that you know the trade, because some of these things are practical, like construction, like you're saying, you still go, you have to go for trade tests,
Yeah.
they'll give you a trowel and some mortar and some bricks, and then you prove that you learned well.
Okay. Yes, in the better.
Thank you, Dr.
Welcome to
Panganai.
sit down.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for him. Yeah, we were learning a lot, and we want to thank God that He gave us such a profound lesson how to create jobs for ourselves, how to make our lives easier as young people. And also, so many times we complain, kuti Zimbabwe amuna mabasa, right? But mabasa tamaudzwa nasi. And I pray using God's wisdom, we can make money starting from today. So I wanted to expand on what Shona had asked. Shona, so sometimes, yes, the AI can hallucinate, but the answer that the AI may give may be correct, but not in the context of your grade. Dopanopinda, that thing where young people can start teaching, tutoring parents how to put commands that pertain to a certain grade or a certain age-specific prompts in AI. You know, there are teachers who teach mathematics. You can be a tutor who can teach parents and children how to use AI age-specific. The answer may be correct, but it's not for the age. Or the answer that the teacher may be looking for that pertains to the grade. So it's winning time, and I hope we're listening. What is a prompt? What is a prompt? Okay. What I'm going to do is, there are people who won yesterday, right? And as much as I want to pick you, I'll try to pick others who didn't win anything yesterday. But you're free to reply, but no winning. Yes, brother. Yeah.
A prompt is a statement telling a computer what to do for you.
So simple and straightforward. Is that true, Doc? Is that an answer that deserves a gift? Okay, they're saying let's hear others. What is a prompt? Yes. He said it's a command given to a system to give you a specific answer. That one was profound. Okay.
If you say a computer, now a computer as a hardware runs a computer system. So if you've got different systems that are running, it's a command you are giving to the system, not the computer. But you are saying command to the computer.
So it's an instruction.
Okay, I'll let him have it.
Brother Nyamwana, come and get your airports. Right. Ndozvakanakira when we have people who know the subject. Atingowinise chi. Thank you. That's an excellent presentation. I think, a prompt is a specific instruction to the system. All right. So, can I have maybe someone to just tell me maybe 3 things we can use, how we can use AI in accounting? How can we use AI in accounting? Are there accounting students in the building? Pane vanoita accounts here kuMozambique? Yes. Yes, Sister Claudette. Kuti tingashandise sei AI kuita accounts or kuma accounting kumabasa kuchikoro kumba, you know.
Nditaure nePortuguese.
Brother Mpandarawa, may you help us in translating?
Yeah, let us speak in Portuguese.
You can speak in. Oh, okay. Yes, you can speak in Portuguese.
Na área de contabilidade, nós podemos usar da seguinte maneira: você pode estar a querer fechar contas e você tira foto de todas as despesas que você fez durante o ano e manda para o aplicativo e ele consegue te ajudar separando as despesas e os lucros que você teve durante o mês.
Okay, she said you can put in the details of how, for example, your expenditures and your profits from the business that you're doing, and then it will just calculate what you have gotten out of a month.
Thank you.
That's what she said.
Oh, thank you so much. Sister Claudette, you can come and take. All right. There is an application that was developed and that is currently being used at Wise Tech College. What is the name of that application? Right. Brother Kudzi. Chikoro? Is that true? Is that true?
That's correct.
You can come and take.
All right, there was a response there. There was a response.
We can use AI in automated bookkeeping, invoice processing, expense and income tracking. Wow, that is beautiful. Thank you, Sister Jaravani. We are going to keep a present for you. You can collect it at the reception when you come to church. Right. One of my final questions, how can we use AI in church? Simple. Answer class students. Primary pals. Shona.
Oh, congratulations.
Right. Can someone just give me maybe 5 risks of AI? The 5 risks related to the use of AI. 5 risks
There's a hand there.
related.
Young man.
Where?
Sorry.
Yes, it's a lady.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Misinformation over dependence and job shifts.
Pasala 2. No, you know you are allowed. Yes, she tried. You are allowed to think of your own. Yes? Fraud. She said fraud.
Yeah, correct.
The
Very
Kwasane
powerful
one.
Laziness.
Okay, she tried, auntie.
She tried.
Semuna
Out of 5,
yes,
that's good.
Tomita Sebo.
I am pay. Oh, wow.
Right. Anyone article grade 7 in here? Grade 7? Grade 6? Grade 6? Oh, okay. How can we use AI in school? How can we use AI in school? Grade 6, 7. Warukuma Shiroko. Okay, Takunda from Kariba.
To search for homework.
Yes, what else?
It can teach me the topic which I want to learn.
That's true. Apererwa mwana mbatsire. Come and take a cap. Right. One last question before we close. Dr. Panganai mentioned about health monitoring, right? Using AI in health monitoring. How can we do that? How can we monitor health using AI? All right. Oh, okay.
By putting the age group.
Yes, go on.
And putting some critical thinking on the question that you have asked.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. We'll try it. Yes. Yes, yourself.
Pane pataurwa kunzi let's say munhu achida kutesta BP inobuditsa results. Yabuditsa results unotora screenshot yeresult iyoyo and then wo explain how you want the results kuti abuda akaita, and then wabuditsa results you can figure out kuti marwariro uri kuita let's say BP percentage yeBP yako ari papi kuzoitira let's say kana wazoenda kuna doctor munenge muchinzwanana.
You can come and get. Right. Session yanga chinakidzere. Session yanga oh, thank you. Session yanga chinakidzanti. Right. I want someone angangwanduza how we can help vanhu in a vulnerable community using AI. Kusina maybe access yakanyanya internet, vamwe vana vana ma textbooks, vamwe vana avakwanisa kuenda kuma field trips. How can we assist them using AI? I want someone. There's someone I'm looking for. Yes. What's your name? You. Yes. Yes, Divine.
So, tingabatsira vana vari in a vulnerable community. So, sometimes havana ma textbooks and it's not easy to understand because sometimes havanenge vasina kuzviona. So you can feed information into an AI uchiudza the things that you want. You could create my visuals of some things, some situations. Then those visuals you can give them kuvana ivavo since they have lack of access to the internet.
Angareka ndori.
It's a follow-up. It's a follow-up question.
Okay.
How are they going to use AI to create potential business recruiter tutoring in the communities app?
There you go.
Well done.
How can they use AI?
Yeah, that's what I would say, how they can use AI.
To Tavana. Okay. Right. There's a follow-up question here from Dr. Panganai. One more person to win. How can we use AI to tutor students, right? Or how can we use AI to tutor and develop that into a business? Sister Precious.
You can tell AI to help you make lesson plans for the particular group that you would like to teach, and you can also tell it the subject that you're based on, and it could give you ideas on how to get that subject to the students for them to understand better.
Is that satisfactory, Doc? And it's satisfactory. Right. There you go. We want to thank God for this session. There are so many other opportunities for us to win tomorrow and on Saturday where we are going to have sports. But for now, we really want to give a final round of applause to Brother Panganai. You know, he gets paid. He gets paid to do this, but he gave this lesson to us for free. And we want to thank God for that. And we are inspired to do the same. Kuti mangwana, vanashona avasazochajwe kunzi vaitiswe session E, but isusu tinge tichiziva enough to teach their generation. As a thank you, Brother Panganai, we have a small token for you. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Yes, so our next service will be at 6 o'clock sharp. I don't know, Brother Talma, do you have anything to say?
Thank you very much, Dr. Panganai. We want to have a quick session yet no Indapanze for outreach. So just after we are given the closing prayer, all those who are saved can remain so that we can quickly go out and invite others for the evening service. God bless you. We can stand and we'll ask Brother Dongo to close.
Baba wedu vari kumusoro kudenga, zita raishe wedu Jesu Kristu tinokuongai masikati ano. Tinokutendai nechidzidzo chamaisa pakati pedu tichidzidza nezve artificial intelligence. Tinokumbira Baba kuti mweya wenyu mutsvene atifuridzire mumwe nomumwe wedu patinodzokera kunzvimbo dzedu, tishandise zvamatipa izvi kuti zviise shanduko muupenyu hwedu. Tizarurirei patichaenda kunodzidza, tizarurirei patichaedza kuzvishandisa, patichasangana zvakare tive neuchapupu hwekuzvishandisa zvakanaka muupenyu hwedu. Tinoisa mumaoko menyu shumiro dzichateera neshumiro yekunokokera, ropafadzai zvose nezita raishe wedu Jesu. Amen.